Part 1: Creating a Storytelling Culture. Why great nonprofits still struggle to raise money. Imagine walking into your nonprofit tomorrow morning. The executive director starts the staff meeting by saying, "Last month, we served 1,842 families." Someone else reports volunteer hours. Someone gives an update on grant deadlines. Marketing talks about social media. Development says they're preparing the annual appeal. Then someone asks the question every communications team has asked before. Does anyone have a story we can use? Silence. Maybe one person shrugs. Another says, "Nothing really happened this week." Everyone moves on. Now, here's what's fascinating. Something extraordinary probably happened that week. Someone found permanent housing. A child laughed for the first time in months. A volunteer quietly paid for someone's medication. A teenager accomplished something no one thought was possible. The stories were there. No one recognized them. That's the central idea behind this book. Most nonprofits don't actually have a fundraising problem. They have a storytelling problem. And more importantly, they have a storytelling culture problem. Chapter 1: The Transaction Trap. As nonprofits grow, something very understandable begins to happen. Everyone becomes focused on doing the work. Case notes, compliance, budgets, deadlines, appointments, grant reports, strategic plans. All of those things are necessary, but over time, organizations begin talking more about activity than transformation. Instead of celebrating lives that changed, we celebrate numbers. Instead of remembering people, we remember statistics. The result? Fundraising starts feeling like asking people for money, instead of inviting them to change someone's life. Here's something I want you to think about. Every donor is asking one question: did my gift matter? They're not asking whether your budget balanced. They're not asking how many committee meetings you held. They're wondering, did someone's life become better because I cared? Stories answer that question. Statistics don't. Chapter 2: Storytelling is everyone's job. One of the biggest myths in the nonprofit world is that storytelling belongs to the communications department. It doesn't. Think about your own organization. Your receptionist sees stories no one else sees. Your volunteers experience moments no one else witnesses. Your case managers build relationships leadership never experiences. Teachers, nurses, drivers, board members, maintenance staff, finance. Everyone sees a different piece of the mission. If only one department is responsible for collecting stories, you're losing hundreds every month. Here's the mindset shift. We're not asking everyone to become marketers. We're asking everyone to become observers. There's a huge difference. We're not asking people to create stories. We're asking them to notice stories that already exist. That one shift changes everything. Because people stop thinking, "I'm not good at writing." Instead, they begin thinking, "I can tell someone what I saw today." That's all we need. Chapter 3: What donors really want. Let's do a quick experiment. Imagine I told you this. Last year, our nonprofit served 4,826 people. You probably won't remember that number tomorrow. Now imagine I told you this instead. A little boy spent 20 minutes deciding which bedroom would be his because he'd never had one before. You'll probably remember that story for a long time. Why? Because human beings remember people, not numbers. Statistics explain what happened. Stories explain why it mattered. One of my favorite ideas in the book is something I call the because of you shift. Instead of asking, what did our organization accomplish? Ask, what became possible because someone gave? Notice the difference. Now the donor becomes part of the story. Instead of saying, we distributed backpacks, you say, because of you, Maya walked into school carrying her very first backpack. Same facts, completely different emotional impact. Donors don't simply want information, they want meaning. They want to understand the difference they made. Chapter 4, Building a Because of You organization. Culture doesn't change because leadership announces new values. Culture changes because leadership changes its habits. Imagine two executive directors. The first starts every staff meeting by asking, how many clients did we serve this week? The second asks, who experienced hope this week because of our mission? Neither question is wrong, but each creates a completely different culture. People pay attention to what leaders ask about. If leadership asks for stories, people begin looking for stories. If leadership celebrates story collectors, more people collect stories. If board meetings begin with stories instead of spreadsheets, people remember why the organization exists. Storytelling isn't a communication strategy, it's a leadership strategy. Leaders build storytelling cultures one conversation at a time. Bringing it all together. So if you remember nothing else from part 1, remember these 4 lessons. First, most fundraising problems are actually storytelling problems. Second, storytelling is everyone's responsibility, not just communications. Third, people remember people, not statistics. And fourth, leadership creates storytelling culture through the questions it asks every day. If you can build a culture where every employee notices meaningful moments, where everyone knows how to preserve those moments, where donors consistently see the lives they've changed, fundraising becomes easier. Not because you've become better at asking, but because you've become better at helping people see the impact of their generosity. That's what a Because of You organization looks like. And in the next part of this series, we're going to answer a deceptively simple question. What is a story? Because once your team learns how to recognize stories, you'll discover they've been happening around you all along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.